I feel like every race, right, has their own like ties to some supremacy complex
Yeah.
of some sort.
Yeah, you're right.
And whether you want to say, whether you want to say that's a good thing or a bad thing, like that's the question. Because it's certainly like values that I guess you can uphold, but it's also things that you might, miss out on because you want to stay separated or, shit
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
Um,
Well, let me ask you this,
but I
Tariq.
think everybody is entitled.
Let me
Yeah,
ask you. Let me ask you this, Tariq, because what you just described, it makes a lot of sense. To me, there is a difference between racial supremacy and racial pride, right? Like if you go to a country like Venezuela or Colombia, people are they're very patriotic. They have national pride. I'm Greek, I'm Australian,
right.
I'm American. And I have no problem with that at all. Like, dude, I have an American flag tattooed on my arm because I love my country. Like, I am proud to be an American. I love my country. Yes, this country leaves a lot to be desired, but I love being an American. Like, I have immense national pride.
Same.
But I think when you start talking like guys like Shabazz or people in the new Black Panther Party, I think that, and I don't think there's a thin line between national pride, nationalism, and racial superiority. I think it's a big leap. I don't think there are some similarities, but I think the supremacists sort of bastardized national pride, just like white supremacists don't call themselves white supremacists. Yes. They call them white nationalists. That's exactly right. And I don't know if that's a new that's a new buzzword for white supremacists, but what are your thoughts on the difference between being a black nationalist or being a black supremacist or on the white side?
I certainly think that people shouldn't be, just shit on because they want to represent who they are.
Okay.
But going further, like you said, beyond that line is putting down other people because you don't think that they match up to you just because, you were born a different skin color.
Yeah.
Or
right.
something,
Right. No, I agree.
And I just think it's funny that, like you said, like this black supremacy, like it does exist, but on the other side of the coin, there's so much fighting in the black community.
Oh my God!
Is it really doing anything positive?
I've got an answer to that question.
Nope.
That's what I would say. I also see here in the comments. I also see here in the comments from the screener. It says people in the community compare themselves to kings. It's not the reality. That's interesting. What did you mean when you said that?
Okay, so I just think, right, obviously the reason everybody is has these ties to like certain nationalist perspective, right? Just like everybody else, right? And black people, pretty much, we get this from, Africa, Kemet, kings, gods, Egypt, shit like that.
Of course.
And the truth is that even if that was real and that was a reality, everybody
can't be a king
in Black America is not a king or a queen.
Yes, dude, I'm 100% on board with that. Listen, man, I totally agree with you, Tariq. Have self-confidence, have self-pride, but I think when people call themselves a black king or a black queen, to me, that's almost an overcorrection. Like, listen, man, I understand the idea, and I'm on board with being mentally confident in who you are. But hyperbole never helped anyone, because if we're trying to uplift our black queens, we got women out here, we got black women who actually think that they're queens. And I've said on the Fresh and Fit podcast, you can't be a queen unless a king appoints you. But being a king is a part of an aristocracy. Right. We live in a democracy. We don't have kings and queens, and we don't have the royal family. We are a democracy. We have a president, a vice president. So listen, if you want to be a king, like, I understand that, but to me, I just think it's kind of hokey. Hey, what's going on, king? Hey, what's going on, queen? I'm gonna be your queen. You're gonna be my king. No. Just be a good man to your good woman, and let your good woman be a good woman to you. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we pretty much covered everything I wanted to say. I would just like to say, yeah, I would react the same. Like you obviously like when you come across situations and it's just like, right, it's just it may not be a black person, it may not be a white person, but
Right.
it's just like two races going at it,
Right.
Just like was it Israel and Palestine,
Oh my God, yes,
right?
Jesus.
It's just certain situations like that where it's like I would react the same. It's uncomfortable regardless
Yeah.
when people choose to just clash because of certain ideas like that.
Yeah, it's really, really weird, man. I think that there are a lot of black people who really do believe that black people are the master race. Tariq, thank you very much for calling in, man. I appreciate your thoughts.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Tariq in Ohio. Yeah, he's right, man. We got too many people. We got too many people in our community talking about I'm a queen or I'm a king. Look, man, I'll be listen. I'm the first to tell these bitches, bitch, you ain't a queen. But by the same token, I don't think I'm a king. Like, dude, I'm not special, man. And I'm not saying that to be self-deprecating or anything like that. It's just that I'm not, there's nothing special about me. Now, there are things about me that are different. There are things there are certain personality and characteristics and traits that I have that help me in life. But by and large, nobody, we're not special. I'm not special. There are certain traits about me that separate me, but that doesn't mean that I'm somehow unique or special. Let us go to I think this might be C-Dub in Las. Is this Dub in Las Vegas or C-Dub in Las Vegas?
C-Dub in Las Vegas.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Nashville, but I've been in.
Okay, what's going on, C-Dub? How you doing, brother?
Man. Oh man, good. It's been a minute. You doing all right?
Yeah, man. Whew, man. It's been very, very busy, very, very busy, as you can probably imagine. What's on your mind, man?
So actually, I wanted to take this a little bit of a different way.
Okay.
With the black supremacy thing.
Okay.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the unequal application of and hypocrisy of black supremacy as applied to men and women in your community.
Okay, let's hear it.
What I mean by that is black women start out with the presumption, no matter how ratchet, no matter how loud, no matter how out of pocket, no matter how unqueen-like they are, it's like, yes, queen, like they get to start from there.
Yes.
And even if they act a fool, they mostly get to stay there.
That's right.
But men, let's take Cam Newton, for example, right? Like his first time he got in trouble with his comments a few years ago, he gave a fake apology and everybody bought it because he was still of some use to the black community as a top-tier black NFL quarterback.
That's right.
But now, because he is not as useful, because he can't even win the Carolina Panthers starting quarterback job, he says one thing that goes against the Yas Queen narrative, and now he's getting crucified. And I bet you money a fake apology ain't going to cut it this time.
Wow.
What are your thoughts?
Dad, listen, I agree with you. And I had forgotten about that. I think it was back in, wasn't that back in like 2016, 2017, where he said something about, he said something sexist or misogynistic, and he ended up losing his contract with a yogurt company or something like that. He gave an apology, I'm sorry, blah, 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 and just like you said, everybody bought it. But now that he doesn't have the platform that he has, now that he is, and he's a shot fighter, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna use Cam Newton's career as a referendum on who he is as a human being, because I don't know the guy. But I agree with you. I think the fact that Cam Newton is not as profoundly gifted as he once was, just like you said, a fake apology is not going to cut it. And I think that black people, because now Cam Newton is not as useful, I think black people will do their level best in separating themselves from him, just like Jim Trotter did. And I think Jim Trotter works for ESPN.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's, for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, it's, it's really, really quite an interesting dichotomy in the treatment based on your chromosomes and gender. But that's all I got, man. Great show. I'm going to listen off air and have a good one.
C-Dub in Vegas. Thanks for calling in, brother.